If you're a law firm looking to generate leads and get more cases, you're probably wondering how much money do you actually have to spend on Google Ads in order to actually do so. In this video, I'm going to answer this question with a simple equation that you can do to easily calculate how much money you should actually spend depending on what kind of result you're trying to achieve. Ultimately, how many cases per month do you want coming in? So let's get right into it. So basically, the first thing that you need to establish in order to actually figure this out is how many new paying clients per month do you actually want. So obviously you'll probably have some kind of income goal or some goal you're trying to hit with how many new clients you want. And so you need to figure that number out, because once you figure that out, you can calculate everything else. So let's say, for example, you want 5 new clients coming in every month from the Google Ads. That's the goal here. So 5 new clients. What you need to do is then figure out how many leads does it take you to get a new client. So this is going to depend on obviously a number of factors, from the targeting of your ads, which we're going to get into in a minute, to how good you are at closing and converting people into actually paying clients for the firm. But you need to figure out this ratio. Now, just because you've had referrals that might convert at like 80% or something like that, does not mean that you're going to get that same amount coming in from the ads. So if you've never run ads before, you need to account for the fact that you're not going to have a high conversion rate like that. Usually it's going to be somewhere within the 30%, maybe 20% on the low end range. Typically, I hear from most clients where I'm running a Google Ads account for them that they convert about 1 in 3, sometimes as high as 50%, but let's just say 1 in 3 is a safe bet. 1 in 4 if you want to be super conservative, meaning you're going to need 4 leads to get 1 paying client from those 4 leads. So let's go with that one, and let's say we have 4 clients. So let's start writing this down and we'll keep track of this. So let's say you want 5 new clients. That's the goal. And 1 in 4 convert, which means you need 4 leads to get 1 paying client. So now we have something to work with. So we now know we need 4 leads to get a client. So we need to now calculate how much is it going to cost us to get 4 leads. What we need to do is open the Google Ads Keyword Planner. You can do this even if you've never run Google Ads before. You can make a free account on Google and you'll have a Google Ads account, and then you can open it. So what you want to do is you go on the left side here under Tools, you go to Keyword Planner, and then you type in Discover New Keywords. You want to click on this. So now you want to set your location and whatever keyword you're going to try and rank for. So I'm just going to, for example, just put in Miami, and I'm going to put family lawyer. So let's say you're a family lawyer and you want to get leads. So let's put in family lawyer, and I like to put a second one just to give it a thing. So I'm going to put family attorney, and now we hit go. And now what's going to happen is Google is going to give us the keywords, the search volume, and how much it's going to cost to run ads for these. You can see here. Now, bear in mind, these are New Zealand dollar figures. It's just because my currency setting. In the US, just make it 1.5 of this. So for example, this would be about $7. This would be about $30. So that's roughly what you can expect to pay per click, right? So let's just use these figures to keep things simple so I don't confuse you. Let's pretend these are US dollars. You'd be paying between $10 and $50 per click to show up for the keyword family lawyer. Same thing with family attorney. Now, basically, as you scroll down here, you'll see a range of numbers, but you can see here that on average, they're roughly somewhere in the, let's say, $20 to $60 mark, right? Now, lately, I've been seeing that this can actually be a lot higher than this even, especially if you're running exact match. However, these keywords are a lot more valuable, but this will give you a ballpark figure, right? So let's take, for example, let's go with the high end and assume that we're going to pay $50 per click to get a lead. So let's add that to our list here. CPC, meaning cost per click. So now we need to figure out what's the conversion rate of our page. Now, the thing here is that if you've never run this before, you're probably not going to know. So you're going to have to run a test essentially to figure it out. But when I run these for clients, typically speaking, they will convert between 5% to 10%. Typically closer to 10% once the campaign's been rolling for a bit. But at the beginning, you have to assume that a lot of what you put out there is not going to work. You're going to have a lot of keywords that are not good, like just not matching correctly. It's not the right search intent. You have to filter them out. So you have to assume that for the first couple weeks, etc., it's going to be very messy and you're going to have to clean it all up and see what's going to work. But typically what's going to happen is you're going to find a couple of ad groups, if you've targeted it correctly, which start being profitable. Like let's say you take a few different angles for family law. You go family law, you go family court lawyers, you go divorce lawyers, and maybe like prenup lawyer or something like that. Let's say you're just testing a few different angles within family law. You're going to find that like a couple of them might be profitable, like very profitable to keep running. So you'd focus on those. But let's say for the purpose of this, that you're on the lower end of that, and let's say you're getting a 5% conversion rate. We now have numbers we can figure out. What this means is that for 100 clicks that land on your website, 5 of them are going to turn into leads. So now we can calculate what this is going to cost, because 100 clicks at $50 is going to cost $5,000, right? So 5,000. So you need to pay $5,000 to get 100 people on your website, which is going to generate 5 leads. And earlier we said 1 in 4 convert into a client, which basically means that you are going to be paying about $5,000 to get 1 client. And that is the calculation that will tell you approximately what you can expect to pay. Now, this is a rough estimate based on average numbers I've seen and realistic examples of what you can expect. We have to remember the fact that we've took the highest CPC that it gave us as an estimate. We also have to remember that we're using a 5% conversion rate, which is on the low end as well if you've done everything correctly, and only 1 in 4 are actually converting. And obviously we paid for 5 clicks there, so across more numbers it would be slightly less than $5,000 per client, but this gives you a rough estimate. So now you can figure out, okay, how many new clients do I want per month? Well, we already said at the beginning that you wanted 5 new clients. So basically you just need to go 5 times 5,000 equals 25K. So you're going to have to spend 25K per month to get your 5 new clients coming in. Now here you can now calculate, is this going to be profitable or can I bring that cost down? So for example, when I'm running ads, like I said, typically speaking, we see a 10% conversion rate, meaning that it's actually going to cost you half of this, which would in this case be 12.5K, assuming all the other numbers are the same, to get these clients coming in. But whatever, with these numbers that we're seeing here, it's going to cost you 25. So now you can calculate, is this even going to be profitable for me? In some cases it will be. I know depending on what area of family law, sometimes it can be tens of thousands of dollars, in which case 25K makes sense to pay if you're making over 100K plus from these cases combined. However, that's obviously going to be up to you to calculate depending on what you're offering. Is it going to be worth it? But this equation that you see here is exactly how you can calculate approximately how much you're going to need to spend on Google Ads. Now, this is always something I take every new client through when I start working with a new client. I will figure out what they're trying to offer. I'll take a look at realistically what it's going to cost and realistically what kind of conversion rate I think we're going to be able to get. And then I will tell them, this is what it's going to cost you to acquire a new client running Google Ads. Is this going to be profitable for you or not, so that we know whether we should actually run it or not. So that's the process I always go through to figure out what it's going to cost. If you want me to help you to do this, figure this out for you, and potentially even run the Google Ads for you on a pure performance basis, you can go to dominatemarketing.io, book a call with me. We'll see if this is going to work, if it's going to be profitable and worth doing for your firm. And then if it works out, we can start working together. So that's basically it for this video. I'll catch you on the next one.